Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Neuvillette listener by me. So let's get into it. There were things that were not meant to be altered. Neuvillette knew that, and he respected it. Some things in the universe were there and happened for a reason, and it was not anyone's business to change them, no matter how strong they were, or how they thought they could defy fate. But sometimes, even he was tempted to make changes himself. After all, being the heart of the primordial sea, the dragon and source of life, it's a bit tempting to toy with life itself. Not to end it, of course not. But he had never actually thought to lengthen your own lifespan or do anything to you. He thought that the two of you had too much time on your hands. Maybe it was his own perception of time as an immortal being, or maybe his own trust in the world that made him so foolish as to believe that the world could be kind and that you would be getting a fair chance in this world. He wanted so badly for the two of you to have enough time to think, to want, and to experience everything that you needed and wanted. But right now, as he looked at you, and your form that was trembling ever so slightly with every breath, he had so many regrets. Leon, darling, you'll be okay. You shook your head, squeezing his hand gently. Neuvillette, it's okay. I mean, maybe just we can be happy with the time that we have had, right? You say, your voice is so fragile that he can't help but look at you in absolute sadness and sorrow. But it was too short. I can't just accept this. It is far too cruel, Wayan. You smile, kissing his hand gently as you look into his eyes, your own ones feeling hazy as you could barely even keep them open. I know. I'm sorry. I tried my best, but I guess I wasn't strong enough. You say, and he kisses you, looking into your eyes. You're strong. You did your best. I'm sorry you couldn't come in time, he said, and he looks at you as you stop breathing, as your eyes close, and there's nothing he can do anymore. Or so he thinks. But maybe he's the dragon of the sea for a reason, the one where all life originates. So, surely he's able to grant life, right? Maybe it would be wrong, but it's not really associated to Celestia or anything. So surely it wouldn't hurt to try. He knows it is risky, and maybe he should not play with fate. But losing you is like losing his entire world. And to him, he would have been utterly destroyed. It didn't matter if it meant playing with fate and doing everything he shouldn't do. If it brought you back, then it was good. And that's all he really needed to be fully convinced as he put his hand on your chest and started transferring his power to you, as much as he can of it, until he felt you breathing again, and he looked at you, holding your hand. Leon, can you hear me? Please, darling, please wake up. You look rather tired, groaning a little bit from the pain, perhaps feeling sore. He doesn't really understand what could have happened, but he picks you up in his arms and holds you close to his chest. You'll be fine. I've got you. We're going to head home now, he says, shakily. The entire world feels a little bit too narrow and too small, and too much. He doesn't know what he's done, or the consequence of it. But he knows, even if time goes back again, he still would have done the very same thing. If it brought you back, then he would do it over again, until he couldn't. He calls her Cedrine to check up on you and see if there is anything irregular. He tells her the truth. He doesn't want to deny anything that happened. And quite frankly, she doesn't really care what he does. So long as Monsieur Neuvillette was happy, then surely it was right. She really didn't care much to ask any questions about things that she had no concern with, and he did tell her enough. What mattered now was that you were alright, and she told him that much before leaving. And Neuvillette, well, he was stuck by your side, refusing to leave at all. He kept on holding your hand and looking at your face. Your face now, full of life. And he knew that there were some things he shouldn't have done, like making you immortal without asking you. But could you really blame him? He was short on time. He had no other opportunity. He could only just do this right now. He didn't think he would actually be able to do this, or that he would ever want to, unless you specifically asked him. But he couldn't lose you. He couldn't bear living alone for thousands of years to come without you. And that's why, when you wake up, the rain that has been going on in Fontaine finally comes to a stop. You're awake, my darling. You're finally awake. Yes, Nevi. You didn't really have to go all the way to do this, but I did, and I would do it again. If it meant bringing you back, I would do anything, Wayan. He smiled, holding his hand. You feel rather tired, your power and your body and the strength of it coming back to you ever so slowly. But you're more than glad that he's here, and that he brought you, against the rules of this world, against anything and all odds. He wanted you here with him, and that was the utmost expression of love that you could have ever asked for, as he wraps his arms around you and holds you close. For you were his treasure, and you would always be in his heart, now and tomorrow and forever.